When I was in college, I'm gonna stop sharing so you guys can see me. When I was in college, I was on leadership, and we were called student orientation leaders, SOL leaders, which is kind of funny, SOL. But we had the opportunity to go on this trip up to San Francisco. It was all about leadership and learning to give back. So we got up there and we got to do all kinds of things, like serve in a food kitchen and go out and paint over graffiti. And of course, I decided to start a paint fight, and we had a blast with that too. We delivered meals to AIDS victims. We did so many amazing things, and it was all about service, because what they were trying to teach us is, as a leader, it's also your responsibility to be an example for those you lead. So one day they told us, they said, I want you to go out and I want you to go talk to the homeless. And a lot of the homeless, there are a lot up in San Francisco, but a lot of the homeless are also mentally disabled, which is what prevents them from getting and maintaining jobs. And that's how they end up homeless. And it's just, it's really sad. So we had the opportunity to go out and talk to them and just kind of hear their life stories. We were also encouraged to, ask them, what do you need? Is there anything we can do for you? And so I remember going over to McDonald's to buy lunch for one guy. And that was a big thing they taught us. They said, please don't ever give them money just in case they turn around and use it for drugs or alcohol or whatever, but do offer them to buy them something. So we had the opportunity to just get to know some people on the streets. And when we did that, we paired up or tripled up with other leaders so that we were also protected, just in case. You just never know if anything is going to happen. So when I went back to Los Angeles, I learned from that trip and the example that they were trying to teach us. And what I would do is I would drive around with groceries in the back seat. And it's all non-perishable products like bagels and stuff that they didn't need a refrigerator, didn't need an oven or microwave, that kind of thing. And when they would be at an off-ramp or something, I'd say, well, would you like a bag of food? And yes, of course. Okay, great. Here you go. Enjoy. And so I carried that on for a long time. And that was one thing that living in urban areas allows you to do, even though we do see some up here in the area of Broomfield, Longmont, around here. So there's a man up in Frederick where we live, and he stands on, well, actually he's disabled and has a wheelchair, but he sits in his wheelchair and has his sign up, and we see him all the time. So this summer at one point, Blake and I were in the Jeep and we were driving by and we were stopped at the light where he was at. I said, Blake, give him some money. And I usually don't give him money. I usually do. Can I go buy you a Chipotle burrito or something, right? But I've seen him enough and that I know that I can trust the guy. So I said, Blake, give him this cash. So Blake rolls down his window and he gives the guy the cash. And then Blake, we go, we take off, the light turns green, we start driving away. Blake turns to me and goes, Mom, he was wearing a Rolex. And I just started laughing so hard because I don't know if it was a Rolex. And if it was a Rolex, who knows if it was real. But it was like, okay, well, here I am trying to be a good example for my kid now. And he tells me he's wearing a Rolex. Well, that went down the drain. I thought it was funny. So anyway, that is